All right, we have this right triangle and we need to find the unknown length. So if we wanted, we could even label this and say, okay, we've got 7 here. We've got square root of 58 here for side C. We don't know side A. So how do we do this? How do we set up an equation? Well, if you remember, we have the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We can see C is in the hypotenuse spot, so it's all set up correctly. And so we're going to just go ahead and solve this. So A we don't know, we'll leave as A squared. B squared is 7 squared. And then C squared is the square root of 58 squared. And I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around that. Now this is something, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify first by doing the exponents. We want to make sure to do order of operations. So 7 squared is just 7 times 7. We have to remember that. Any number squared is you're timesing itself twice by itself. So A squared plus 49 equals. Now this one you can do in your calculator, but anytime you have a square root of a number squared, it's like the square root and the number, or the square root and the squared cancel each other out. The reason for this is if you have the square root of 58 squared, it's like we have square root of 58 times the square root of 58, which equals, when we need to multiply those on the inside, square root of 58 times 58. Well, by definition, that square root, if we have a number times itself, those two cancel. We have one left on the outside. So the square root is looking for what number times itself equals this. And so it would be, in this case, it would just be 58. Okay, but another way to think of it is just a square root. If you have a square root of a number squared, the square root and the square root just cancel out. So we get 58 here. Then we want to keep solving. Minus 49 from both sides. So we borrow here, 18 minus 9, we get 9, and 0, so it'll just be 9. So A squared equals 9. Now we need to do this, we need to actually find A. And so we've got a square root each side. So here A will equal 3. And so our final answer here is going to be 3.